allow me to get nostalgic for just a bit. You don't mind, do you? I'm currently crashing from coffee. This is something I wanted to talk about for the last week. The year is... Wait, what is the year? Fuck, spelled that wrong. Dragon Quest Monsters Joker. The year is 2007. Fuck, I'm old. This game was something special for its time. If you are familiar with capture games, collector games, we're talking Pokemon, obviously, the main standard for these capture monster games. I guess you had some Digimon games. Monster Rancher. Was Monster Rancher a capture game? I don't know. That shit was too young to remember. Hey, yo. Can I talk to you about another collector game since you're on the subject? I'd rather not. But why? Because I've already played too many gacha games. Okay, but it's got ghost waifus. Chronicle is a unique collector mobile RPG where humans and yokai coexist. Collect and harness the power of these yokai to defeat enemies as you explore an Eastern-themed fantasy world with a story that's affected by your choices. Different rewards, different dialogue. It comes down to how you play the game. It even has full Japanese voice acting. Amazing. And some of you might feel like you've seen this game before, and maybe you have, but this time around it has improved UI, more yokai than before, more illustrations, and will have new characters and events added regularly. Got a thing for maid waifus, badass swordsmen, furries. Then this game has a spirit for you to collect. So if Chronicles looks like a game you'd be interested in, hit that link down below in the description to download this game for free and start playing today. Wow, dude. Really bright right now, huh? Let's put that down. Let's tone it down a bit. Okay, so Dragon Quest Monsters Joker. Why do I want to talk about it? I don't know. I've never heard anyone speak about this game. I was streaming, so when I flipped the camera, I flipped that. This game was revolutionary for this genre, or for this subgenre, because it kind of had what Pokemon does now, where it's all 3D and you can wander the world. Although Pokemon now is no random encounters, I mean, I guess there are, but you pretty much can always see when a Pokemon is going to bother you. And this had a mix of that, but you can also see the creature in the world. And this is 2007. Not the first game to do it, but it's pretty much one of the first capture games to do it. You're familiar with Dragon Quest. There are so many Dragon Quest. There's a Dragon Quest movie on Netflix right now. Dragon Quest is iconic in Japan. Pretty popular over here as well. Good series. Well, they're not all connected. It's kind of like Final Fantasy. But I've grown up with Dragon Quest games. But Dragon Quest Monsters was different. I don't have a fucking script here. I'm just going off of nostalgia in the top of my head. But anyway, Dragon Quest came out. Okay, this isn't the first Monsters that I played. The first Dragon Quest Monsters game that I played, I was on a road trip to Michigan to visit some relatives. It was for Game Boy Color. And I remember breeding two monsters together and getting some super cool fucking dragon. Honestly, I want to see if I can find it. Dragon Quest Monsters Game Boy Color. Okay, it was called Dragon Warrior Monsters. Let's look up monster list. Oh, these sprites. Oh my god. The thing about Dragon Quest is like it never really changes. They're still using this fucking dragon, same position and everything. But back then, Game Boy Color, we're talking, you compare these to like Pokemon and they were so much more detailed. It was a different breed. This is it. It's the Great Drag. I remember getting this from like fusing two monsters together. I swear that's what happened. I had to have been like 5 or 6, 7 maybe, almost 20 years ago. It was this. It was the Great Drag. And I remember just looking at this all the time in my possession and it looked so badass. I would draw pictures of it all the time. So it wasn't my first go with it, but Dragon Quest Monsters came out on the 3D, came out on DS, pretty sure, not 3DS. And me and my friend AJ, childhood friend, before Wi-Fi and battling with people around the world, you had your friends to play co-op split screen with, and AJ was my guy for PSP, Monster Hunter, Dragon Quest, Mega Man, DS games. We would just like, he was always my rival, but also my friend to co-op with. Dragon Quest Monsters Joker, we picked it up not really thinking that it was going to hold such value to us. But the world was so dope to explore. The amount of monsters, just there was something about playing that game at that time. You know how you get like, you could think of a certain memory or time of your life. And when you think about it, you might like remember a smell from that time But for me, it's like I remember my energy at that time. Like I remember the energy I felt walking through the hallways of elementary school. Does it sound weird? Probably to some of you. I only discovered the other day that not everyone has a voice in their head. I talk so much to myself in my head that I talk out loud a lot to myself. Now, I just found out that a lot of people don't have that voice in their head, and I'm like, whoa, what? You don't? But hey, I guess that's a thing, and I guess it's normal. There was just something about the time playing this game. It was like one of the best gaming experiences of my life. And I think I was in middle school, and I took this class where I had to do graphic design in the morning. And I remember I'd spend a majority of that class searching up and planning out different teams of monsters, which I guess stats to focus on and things like that. It was like a much more in-depth Pokemon. It just wasn't that popular, at least. I guess I never really heard many people talk about it. It was such a good fucking game. Right now I feel like I should get an emulator and play it. But knowing me now, my heart's there, but my time isn't. So probably, it'd be a waste of time. I did actually discover that it had a competitive scene in it. And I think you would have 3 monsters and you would go at it 3v3 with other players. I don't know if those other players were actually queued up and it was in real time, or if it was like you set up a team and other players just go against it, kind of like mobile games these days. Like you never really have to be active to PvP. You're PvPing someone else's NPC team. I don't know if it was something like that, but the design of these monsters, everything was 3D, the world you could explore, it had a story going on. It felt like a much more mature version of Pokemon. And around that time, Pokemon was the titan. So to see something else like this was a breath of fresh air, and it was just such a cool experience. It's in like top 5 as far as like games that got me immersed and like putting in hundreds of hours, reading guidebooks, drawing pictures, getting obsessed. Obsession is the word I'm looking for. I was obsessed with this game, and it was just a good fucking time. And I don't know why I even want to talk about this game. Maybe because I feel like it gave me so much entertainment and helped me pass the time of my younger days, and I feel like I owe a thank you to this game. Another game that would fall onto the same boat or umbrella is Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter, truly, of my early teens, was pretty much my game. Like, I didn't play MMOs when I was a teenager. I played Monster Hunter. I guess maybe because I played Frontier, I built like a $50 PC for recording music, but I ended up using it to game on the Japanese servers for Frontier. I don't know how this PC handled it. That PC used to sound like a fucking microwave, but hey, I got it to work. But yeah, Monster Hunter was my thing for PSP though. And I remember when it went to Nintendo or decided not to release on PS3, I was so upset. Like, no, this is the end of Monster Hunter. Sony, what happened? But I think the move to Nintendo was very smart for them financially, and in the end, I'm happy it happened. And then when they went back to Sony, and I know we're kind of going off topic, but who cares? I covered Monster Hunter when it first came out for about the first week. I was very excited to play it. The nostalgia boner was kicking in. I made the video, I made 1 or 2 videos on it, and then I never touched it again. And it wasn't because, oh, Monster Hunter's out, let me just farm some views and talk about it because it's fresh. I never really do that, never really care. Viewership does matter, of course, but at least for me, YouTube has never really paid my bills like you think it would. I mean, YouTube itself, sure, but sponsorships are what keep YouTubers like me going and being able to do this full time. YouTube ad revenue, I don't know, maybe some of you guys are making good money off that shit, but for me it's not enough to pay my bills, and never has been. Anyway, I covered Monster Hunter. I was truly passionate about it, and it was just one of those, I was still clouded at the time that like, I think I have the time to play these games. I think I'm going to cover them. I'm making these promises, and it kept happening, and I realized like, dude, you got to stop. You got to stop acting like you're going to cover this game for years to come. You're not going to. You're going to cover another game because something else is going to interest you, or you're going to realize you can't stick to one game, and that's just life. But I think at the time what it was is I was just chasing nostalgia too much. I was like forcing myself to like Monster Hunter. And the thing is, I got older, and that formula, that gameplay, that style, it just doesn't do it for me anymore. Now we fast forward, and a year or 2 later, I picked Monster Hunter back up because of Iceborne, and I've been really enjoying it. So I guess it just wasn't the time. Sometimes it's not the right time. You just need to pick up that game like later in life. Days Gone, zombie Last of Us open world type game. Bought it upon release, played it quite a bit, stopped playing it for about a year. Been playing it a lot lately, put in like 20 hours in the last week. Sometimes it's just, you just gotta find a different time to pick shit up. But yeah, so Dragon Quest, Monster Hunter, games that consumed my life. The kind of games where like you go to school and you're still thinking it. That's all you think about all day. I can't wait to get home and play this shit. I can't wait to get home and PvP my friend or browse forums and talk about this game. I understand that talking about this to someone who's like not a gamer or on the outside, they'd be like, bro, you are a fucking nerd. But I'm talking about it with you guys, other nerds who probably have obsessed over games like this as well. It's things like this that I wish I could still get this feeling for games. I think the burden of being an adult, stressing over bills and all the other shit you have to deal with, you're not so free-spirited anymore. It's like, what did you really stress about as a kid? Unless you had some bad things going on at home. But like, other than that, your stress was what? Like in the video game itself? Yeah, this is the type of video I'm making at 2 in the morning, which is not that late for the usual me because I'm staying up till 7 a.m. But tonight I am going to try to sleep a bit earlier, and I have been fixing my sleeping schedule, which is why videos don't go out at 12:15 a.m. like they usually do. But yeah, Dragon Quest Monsters Joker, getting crazy off topic, but fuck, that game was amazing. And maybe just for fun, we'll play it for a video, and maybe I'll shed a tear. Dragon Quest is another thing that I still try to chase nostalgia with. Like the latest 2 I've bought, and I just scratched the surface and then never picked them back up. So right now the only games that I'm really playing is Monster Hunter actively when I can, and Days Gone. Everything else I just kind of hop in here and there, make some content, but actively think the next big commitment for me is going to be Phantasy Star Online 2. All that being said, thanks for listening to this rant. If you've played Dragon Quest Monsters, the monster ones, let me know, because I'm feeling alone in this shit, and I want to know there's some people out there that played it too, like they got similar memories like me. Yeah, anyway, thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next video. See you soon, friends.